This is the beginning of something huge for the Buccaneers. A new report coming in about one of our big players, and if you know, you know, and what his status is going to be going into training camp, the possibility of him making the team or not, and what this process is going to be looking like going forward with the Buccaneers. I'm Sebastian with the Buccaneers Digest. Welcome to the channel, and Florida State fans, do not be alarmed. I know I'm wearing a Gator hat. Trust me, it's relevant to the video. So make sure to stay subscribed. And speaking of subscribers, 95% of y'all are not subscribed. So make sure to hit the bell, hit the button, and join this community, join the channel so that you're always up to date on all things Buccaneers. As training camp has just started today, we're getting updates all the time, and we'll be right here helping you out. Now, what are we talking about? Because obviously I mentioned the Gator hat for a reason. There is a certain player, a certain 440-pound player known as Desmond Watson, who right now we all know he comes into camp pretty heavy. When the Buccaneers signed him, an undrafted free agent after the draft, he was the largest player, obviously, in the draft, but he's also the heaviest player in the NFL, like completely. And we also, funny enough, drafted in the 7th round the lightest player in the draft in the NFL in Tez Johnson. So that's kind of cool to have that duality there. But speaking of Desmond Watson, the biggest question when we got him was, is he going to be able to maintain this health? Is this, or his weight, and how much down is he going to need to come from the weight that he was at, 440 pounds, to really have a chance to make this roster? Because we know, he might have been a force on the Gators and football team in college, and that's great. That's one thing, but overall, you can't be picking up dudes and throwing them over. I mean, we see it sometimes happen in the NFL, but it's not nearly as easy. Desmond was a giant compared to a lot of these kids in college, and it's going to have to be something that he makes an adjustment for, which means coming down a little bit so he can be a bit more mobile and so he can fit into this defense, quite literally. So what did Todd Bowles have to say about our guy Dez here? He said, it's just about trying to get him better, to be a healthier player, and getting him on the field. That's where I'm at right now. He is referencing specifically the fact that he is placed on an injured, non-football related injury list. So he's still active, but he has to stay on the sidelines and watch training camp. He's not allowed to participate currently because he's not at the weight that they need him to be at right now. So he is still learning mentally. He's getting mental reps by watching. The problem is that if he's not participating on the field physically, he's not going to be getting the normal motions or what the mental reps on the field rather than just being off the field. And so we're kind of looking at a situation that we were all really excited about the possibility of Desmond Watson joining this group, and specifically being right next to Vita Vea, because we were all like, okay, the tush push. This, that was everyone's first thought is, oh my gosh, these two guys next to each other, we're already able to stop the tush push. Now no one will even dare even think about attempting it with us, with these two guys. It'll be a complete brick wall. And so this is still in play. Do not get us wrong. Just because he was put on that injured, non-football related injury list, it means he has the possibility to come down from his weight and to still make the team. But it's in question. That's undeniable. And there is a possibility, hey, maybe he doesn't make the 53-man roster. Maybe he makes the practice squad. They send him to the practice squad, and then they'll bring him up once he gets to the weight he needs to be at, or he's looking like he needs to. He's playing like he needs to, or they just bring him up for the Eagles game. You never know if it's just like a one-time thing. I'm hoping that's not the case. There's actually a report out there that, some ESPN folks are thinking that it's actually possible that ESPN is thinking here. The 53-man roster prediction for the Buccaneers includes Watson among the 6 interior defensive linemen headed into training camp, a prediction that will rely heavily on Watson being able to keep his weight in check. So this is great. there are people out there, some football insiders, who believe that it is possible for Desmond to come down from that weight that he's at right now. And obviously, that he made all the headlines because he was at the weight that he's at right now. Overall, though, he has to adjust to the NFL. It's just a faster game, and you can't be as fast if you're as heavy as he is. And but overall, he seems like he's a great guy. I mean, I know as a Gator fan that he's always been a fun person to root for. He's had different plays where he was like holding the ball. He got a run for a first down, and he also got to do a fumble recovery against South Carolina and stiff arm Spencer Rattler into the ground. So he might have a chance to do that again with the Bucs versus Saints. You never know. So overall, though, it's a question of the work ethic, obviously, the dieting. Is this going to happen? And it's all reliant on Desmond. Now, they wouldn't have picked him up if they didn't have some belief in his abilities. There's always a chance, and the reason why he makes these headlines is because people know how powerful of a tool Desmond could be and will be. And in the end, we have a great duo of defensive interior guys with Kalijah Kancey and Vita Vea, but the depth is really important. And having a guy like this, having a guy, the sheer power, he was pushing golf carts around with Shiloh Sanders. Obviously, Shiloh wasn't able to push the golf cart around, but he was pushing the golf cart around with ease. That we would strike fear. Our defensive interior would strike fear. It wasn't too long ago when the Buccaneers were the forefront of run defense, where no one even dared run against us. People were throwing like 50, 60 times a game because they just knew they couldn't run on us. And we're trying to bring that mentality back, obviously. And so that's kind of what we're going for right now, is Desmond Watson bringing back the culture of do not run on us. There's no run game happening, and we're going to force you to pass, make your offense one-dimensional, and then pick you off as many times as we can. And so he is the key to making this dream a reality, where everyone comes into a game not just fearful of our offense, but fearful of our defense and what we can do to their offensive line. Now, what's going to happen is Desmond going to make the team? Sound off in the comments below what you believe, and we'll go from there, because I'm of the opinion that I think Desmond has what it takes. Maybe I'm biased as a Gator fan, but in the end, I think we all would benefit and we would all enjoy seeing him, Kalijah Kancey, Vita Vea all together, stopping that tush push. We have an Eagles game this season. We it's all heavy anticipation for that moment when we inevitably know they're going to tush push. So let's get this guy ready for that moment, and because this is all building towards that stop. I was there for that playoff game where we stopped the 2-point conversion tush push, and it was an electric moment in that stadium. And we did that without Desmond Watson. Imagine what we have with him. So let us know in the comments, will Desmond Watson make the team? Will he make the practice squad? Where do you think he will end up? Because this is a big piece for us. Now, stay tuned. We got more training camp news coming in the next few videos. We just got started rolling, and we'll see y'all next time. Thanks.